Right, hello. It's been a day. Right, I had a question from, I do apologise if I butcher the name here, at Zokai Koi, possibly. It's a Z with an O, a K, A, double I, K, O, I. So Kai Koi, possibly. Anyway, whichever, posed a question and I want to respond. Right, he was asking about my stats and my lifts as a way of knowing basically if any of the training methodologies that I do, my training styles, actually do work, essentially. The results that I have gotten from my own style of training. Right, so, don't want to miss any bits. We are. Okay, the stats. I'm 41 years of age, I'm 5'10", and I weigh about 79 kilos. I went on the scales this morning, it was 79.85, but that was after breakfast. But it was after breakfast, but it was also after training. So I probably burnt a few calories, consumed a few that I burnt. So I'm going to go with 79, so I think that's fair enough. Right. With the big four lifts, that is your squat, your bench, your deadlift and your overhead. Now, going back as far as I can. Well, actually, I'll go back to the first lockdown because I was a bit fluffy. I was a bit fluffier during lockdown because I was eating a load, but I was training a load as well. So, on the deadlift, I got to 180 kilos, and that's the max I've done for that. For the squat, I did get to 140. I did do a video where I wasn't sure how much I'd got on the max squat, but I found a little piece of paper that I had and I jotted them all down. Yeah, I done a little tick chart during when we had the first lockdown over in the UK. So tick 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 tick. And yeah, I had wrote off the letters there as well. So I had 140 on the squat. It was an ugly 90. I'm not going to lie, it was an ugly 90. I was using, this was my bench, because I had my feet under, using a bit of leg drive, and my left hand, my left leg ended up over driving, so my right leg sort of ended up in the air a bit, and my hip didn't thank me for that. But yeah, so I had 90 on the bench, and on a standing push press, I think I got to it was either 75 or it was 77.5 because I had a little two diddly weights either side. So those are the numbers roughly where I am with them. Now, the program I am currently running is following the conjugate method, and basically you're aiming for PBs 2 days a week. You got your first day, which is a variation of a deadlift or a squat, and then you've got day 3, which is your pressing day, which is a variation of either a bench or a strict overhead. So my numbers are mixed and matched for what you want for there. I roughly know what they are. I'm going to have to swap screens so I can actually see the numbers, because I can't remember off the top of my head, if I'm perfectly honest. Right. Block deadlifts. So it's essentially the bars clearing 10 inches off the floor because it's on the either side of the weights are on the blocks. Got 185 for that. A nose level strict overhead press, I got 65 for that. Front box squat was 105, and that was a low box as well, it's below parallel. Close grip bench was 87.5. Now personally, I reckon I had 90 kilos there. But I had work and I was on the clock. I was running late. My job is not pleasant, and there are times when I've got to be at work for 6:30 in the morning. At the latest, I get out of the house maybe. I've left maybe with 12 minutes to go and made it. It's not a long cycle journey, but normally I leave by about 6:15 at the latest. I had a bit of a sleep in here and I was on the clock. I reckon I could have got 90. I'm pretty certain. I reckon 90 would have gone, but I'll be honest. And yeah, it was 87.5. I do actually have videos for all of the maximum effort days that I'm putting up, and as I say, I'm into week 4, so you'll be able to find these quite easily. But if you just want to know my numbers without having to go through all my old videos, I'm chucking out what I got. Let's have a look. Strict forehead level. Right, now an above the knee rack pull. Now essentially it's pretty much a glorified hip thrust. But on this day, this was a day that should have been off. This was the day before New Year's Eve, I think. Yeah, this was a day off. But someone had slept through their alarm or lie, you know, so for whatever reason they couldn't make it in. And because they weren't responding, we thought they weren't going to come in. So I said, all right. I said I can come in for a couple of hours, but I was all in my gear, and I was set to do below the knee rack pulls, but I went with above the knee because, let's be honest, as in terms of, you know, the mechanical movements, it's very simple, especially once the bar is above the knee. You're not moving much of a distance. I mean, yeah, if you get right up past your knees and then you're stuck, then it is a good worker because you can overload it. And I got to about 230 for that, and a forehead level overhead press. I got 75. These are the overhead presses that I've done. These are done stripped, so there's no leg press involved, or push press rather. And let's see what else. I think, no, is that it? No, it's not. No, it's not. Right, so, okay. Right, low box squat. This isn't a front, this is like behind the neck, you know, shoulders on the shoulders, low box. Got 115 for that. I got a pin press, which was about pin bench. It was about maybe 2 inches from my chest, so bringing the bar down and then over rolling up, and I got 90 for that. So those are my lifts at the moment. Those are what I know are my PBs. I only got it about a couple of months ago, I think. Obviously, you've got to allow for the fact that we've just gone into January. So when was it? October? Or was it before October? I can't remember. I'm not going to lie, I can't remember. I'll say, for the sake of arguing, that I've had it for maybe 3 months. See, I could have sworn I got it on a Black Friday thing, which is, well, that's not end of October, is it? Or is it? I forget. I feel like I've probably had it for at least 3 months. So I'm going to say I've had it for 3 months, even if I haven't. But I'm going to say I have. And that is a log. And the max I've logged so far, floor to overhead, is 65 kilograms. Now, floor to overhead on a straight standard barbell, 70 kilograms. I was reenacting the events for a competition I wanted to go to last year. So like the start of last year, the start of 2024. But money, time, and so I have sung about. I sing this tune very often, but there's just no strongman focused gyms in Canterbury, which sucks. So yeah, I couldn't get down there. I wanted to. It was Southampton, my hometown. But anyway, I reenacted the events that they were going to be doing. One of them was a straight bar floor to overhead for 70 kilos. So I'd done that, and I got, again, if you look through on my old videos, it shows how many I got. I can't remember if I got 1 or 2 reps, but I know for a fact I got 1. So a floor to overhead on an Olympic barbell, so got the flex in it. Excuse me, 70 kilograms. 70 kilograms. So there we go. So quick run through on my numbers again. It's been a day, but I did want to respond to this question as quick as I could. So right, so my vital statistics: 41 years old, 5'10", 79 kilos. Maxes on events: standard deadlift 180, 10-inch deadlift 185. Where was I? Above the knee rack pull 230. Strict overhead press 75 or 77. Do you know what? I'm going to be fair and say, for the sake of arguing, that it's 75. I'll find out when it is when I do it. And again, it's not a strict one. It's sort of like a standard push press. So let's say 75. Bench press 90. Squat 140. Floor to overhead on a bar 70. Floor to overhead on a log 65. Go through the videos. Go through my most recent training videos for the other lifts that I've been doing. The last 8 lifts over the past 4 weeks. Yeah. And then you'll know what you've got and where you're going. So there we go. That, as I say, that's my vitals. That is from what I can remember off the top of my head. My numbers for XYZ amount of lifts. So I'm week 4 on the conjugate system that I'm running at the moment. So in about 8 weeks' time, I'll be testing out for lifts. I'll see where I'm at with my squat, my bench, my deadlift. Now with my overhead variation, I'm not sure if I'm going to go with a push press or a strict press or a floor to overhead. I'm probably going to do a floor to overhead because in competitions I've seen the events are floor to overhead, whether they're on an axle, whether they're on a straight bar, whether they're on a log, or even if they're a monster dumbbell, they're floor to overhead. So I'll be testing, when it's time to test, I'll be testing my floor to overhead. Whether I'll do it on a bar or a log, I don't know yet. What I might well do is do it first on a bar, then maybe the following week test myself on a log. But yeah, so it's hard to know where the numbers are for those 4 main lifts at the moment. I don't know, but I'll find out where they're at in 8 weeks' time. And what I'll do, I'll be recording those testing sessions, so there'll be nothing to hide. Well, nowhere to hide, let's say. Right, the bit that I always mean to do at the beginning, but I always forget and end up doing at the end. So if you've not sat through this video, you'll miss out on it. Do like and subscribe if you like what you're watching. Do pop over to the website www.paulheileylifts.co.uk. I have got a January sale deal on the 12 weeks coaching, so now could be the time. If you've been promising yourself you're going to do it and just haven't done it because money or time, or use the time now. I also am giving away 4 weeks coaching absolutely free. But I've only got 3 of those that I'm giving out. But if you go over to the website and then contact me through the page, through the contact bit, and you can get your 4 weeks of coaching for free. I think there was something else. I was going to do a couple of videos today, but I'll not be honest, it's been not a pleasant one, not a pleasant day, so I might need some I need some chill time. So yeah, there we go. So that's all about me thus far, what I have done, what I have lifted. Yeah, that's a lot. I reckon there's going to be something else, but I've probably forgotten about it because I took the kids to the cinema. Had a bit of fun and games beforehand, had more fun and games after, and I've just been tidying up Christmas bits and whatnot. And it's cold in the UK at the moment. Right, so there we go. That's the lot. To Zokai Koi. Again, I apologise if I've got that wrong. I do hope this has answered all your questions. Any more, just drop a nod in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you all later. In the meantime, as always, keep strong, keep happy and keep healthy. And I'll speak to you all later. Ta-da.